Hello, Sunshine. This is another update. I guess I want to jump on to quickly mention this because it's not really like me usually to feel this way. And mm, in light of like also the episode that's released today, which is with Ryan Durrani, shout out to him. Go check out our episode about depression, which is a very, very big topic and topic I've been trying to break into for the podcast for quite a while. So every time I can break into a new area that I've been trying to check off my list and kind of essentially set up for more episodes about it in the future, it's a very, very big tick for me. And it just makes me feel very accomplished and very happy because it is surprisingly hard sometimes to try and break into new areas of topics, which is kind of what this channel is all about, trying to be informed about as many things as possible. And often you'd be surprised about how, I guess, ignorant we are about a lot of issues until we're kind of, I guess, put ourselves in the situation. As I kind of thought to myself today when I saw a post where some idiot was basically talking about, again, the whole debate about, people being settlers and original people who own the land. And honestly, pride, this is what I said in that video as a comment. I said, pride without education is just stupidity because you're just making a fool of yourself. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. I think I've just been a little bit frustrated. After the Yochi competition, I did the art. It didn't really go through the way I did, and I was so confident about it. I think I got a bit of a knockdown by that. Although I'm not sure what I was expecting to be relying on something like that to fund the project or anything like that. But I was really, really happy with because I tried quite a few times trying to get what the results that I wanted for that particular art. So I think that's partially why it was so frustrating that it didn't even make it. I don't think it even made it into the final 20 finalists. And I think like I didn't regulate myself as well after that, and I usually have been for a while. And then I had some difficult conversations as well around that time. Just a lot of things like, old and bad timing, which is not really an excuse, but it just kind of ended up making me waking up one morning and feeling really frustrated, really quite angry. And I feel like that's one of the things we don't talk about, especially as people who are very carefree and very happy and present ourselves that way to most people around us. I just felt like this extreme level of like frustrated anger, and just wasn't really like me, and he wasn't the kind of person I like to be, and he kind of ended up going this full circle because it makes me more upset. But I did want to jump on to do this update as a good reminder because I'm kind of coming out of it, and why I'm coming out of it is that's why they say it's very important to surround you with good people and people that you want to become, because oftentimes they might be posting something or saying something, and that would be one of the most, and these are kind of like your algorithm too. You can also tell your algorithm to have people that are very important. It's doing something with it. For example, I saw a reel that really, really influenced me in a better way as well. But a lot of that also has to do with the friends, that what they kind of talk about. For example, Ryan Durrani, as one of the newest additions, often does Q&As about depression, and also like just people asking about genuine questions like, for example, how do you get through the darker times? How do you, should you, fall in love when you're in this kind of condition? All these kind of quite raw questions, but very important questions that will really help people. So definitely give him a follow. And it's great that he agreed to eventually do more interviews too, which is really cool. I got some snacks. I regulated and kind of recalibrated my thoughts, started planning towards the future. There was another thing that I wanted to mention. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, like, mistakes happen, and sometimes you're also not the version of yourself that you want to be, but the key is to keep going and to be I guess, like, as graceful as you can while trying to push yourself forward. It's about how you handle the situation, not so much about what happened. A lot of times, dwelling in something that's already happened is as good as a dead bit horse, right? So, oh yeah, but I do want to mention the one that I'll try and link the link to the reel below. She's absolutely amazing. One of the reels that she said that I saw today, at least, was basically talking about a student coming up to the professor asking about, complaining that life has all these problems, and he was, all up in it. And the professor basically mixed up some salt in a glass of water and told him to drink it. And he was like, "Well, it's so salty, it's bitter, can't drink this." And then he said, "Let's go for a walk." They went to the lake, and he put the salt in the lake and then scooped up some water from the lake and said, "Drink this." And says, "How's that?" And he said, "Fresh." And basically the story was telling you that it's a lot of like things in life, grief, for example, is one of those things that we just cannot change. They're problems that we have to deal with consistently, and we can't remove them. They're not things that can be cured. So what it is essentially is more important is often to figure out how to make your water bigger rather than focus on the issues, those like small things like the salt. I hope I'm phrasing this correctly and making you understand. If not, you can watch her reel. But yeah, so, and that made me realize how much all of my friends and the people that surround me, that are like close families, are kind of like my water. Anyway, I will see you soon in another video, and hope you guys are having a good day and positive vibes. And if not, accept it and work through it. It will eventually get better. Promise. Bye.